Okay, so this section, Karen and myself will be talking about mixed reality authoring and simulation, and we'll be walking through the mixed reality project template first, and then going through simulation and some of the tooling there. So first, the mixed reality template project. So we're going to take a look at the sample scene, point out some of the notable features, as well as some of the project settings within the project. So the template can be found in Hub with the latest 2022 LTS, along with the VR and mobile AR templates. And if you're developing for the Quest, you're going to want to make sure that you have the build target already installed. And I kind of sped up this part because we all know that this can take quite a bit. Once you open up the project, you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a window with a quick start guide, which has a lot of detailed information of the template project for you to dig into, as well as a template feedback button, which is super helpful for us. So when we think about onboarding experiences, make sure you go in there and get some feedback. The main prefab in the sample scene is called the MR interaction setup. Here you'll see the XR origin along with visualization for hands, as well as controllers. You'll also see that there's a AR session for plane detection, as well as a goal manager, which is used for our coaching UI when you first enter the project. There's also an object spawner, which is used to spawn various assets in the scene by placing your hand on found plane surfaces. In the hierarchy, you'll also notice another game object that contains the spatial UI for the project. So this has both the coaching UI, which again is a kind of step-by-step progression of different cards when you first enter the scene, as well as the hand menu, which is constrained to the hand and has a lazy follow behavior. That includes a bunch of runtime settings that is for the scene itself. And if you go to the project settings under graphics, you'll see our URP presets. The performant preset is already active and contains a few notable parameters that influence performance, such as shadow distance and anti-aliasing. Now we'll take a look at the object spawner and some of the assets that are provided. So if you open up these prefabs, you'll see that affordances are already set up in order to give users valuable input feedback. So that includes both color changes and audio feedback, which contains themes. So if you look at these themes, you can populate all of the different assets with those themes. Lastly, we'll take a look at the build settings and XR plugin management. So again, if you're deploying to the Quest, you want to make sure that you have the Android platform installed. And then you'll notice that OpenXR is already active by default, as well as the meta feature groups, which allows you to kind of open up the project and build right away. Now I'm going to pass it off to Karen to talk about simulation.
Hi, let's talk about simulation. So, a lot of your time as a developer is spent iterating and testing. Simulation speeds us up by letting you run your app directly in the editor. We've been working on integrating XRI's device simulator with AR Foundation's environment simulation. So world tracking data comes through AR Foundation as you move around a synthetic environment, and you can interact with objects using XRI. So let's see it in action. So here we have our MR template. I'm going to go to project settings, XR plugin management, and under the standalone tab, turn on XR simulation. Yep. And in XR interaction toolkit, turn on use XR device simulator at scenes, instantiate in editor only, and make sure your device simulator prefab is set. So we go to the prefab and make sure we have override XR simulation input set. Now, the simulation environments are not installed by default. So I'm going to go to Window, XR, AR Foundation, XR environment. Now, we do supply a simple default environment, but if we go to the toolbar, import sample environments, we can bring in the whole set. So import the Unity package. And now we have the backyard environment. A small office. A larger office, and a whole bunch of others. So let's go back to our template scene. I'm going to press play. So we'll skip the UI, and here we are in the office. And I'm detecting my planes. I've got my controllers. I can move around, place and interact with my content, basically test my entire application without having to build and deploy to a device. So this obviously can save you a ton of time. And that's it. Thank you.